Hello class, welcome to week 7 and your final week of PowerPoint. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to make your presentation look a little bit more interesting and to provide some audience engagement. So here we are back at our compliance Google slide, and I'm going to make a few tweaks to this these are kind of advanced tips that I want to show you this week to make things look just a little bit more professional. So I look at this logo that I've put here, and while I like it and it's a cute logo, it looks a little bit boxy and kind of not very attractive compared to all of these really beautiful looking gray slides. So I'm actually going to open up Google Images this time. And I'm going to look for an image that has a transparent background. So all you see is the actual wording and pictures, and you don't see the box in the back. So I'm going to put company logo. And I'm going to go to search tools. I'm going to go to usage rights, and I'm going to go to labeled for reuse with modification. So that gives me any sort of logo that has been allowed, that other people have allowed or other companies have allowed to be shared and used. And now I'm going to go to color. I'm going to scroll down to transparent and click that. And now any of these labels are going to be transparent even though they show white in the background. So let's pick CP company. You can see that when I open this up, the background of this changed from white to kind of this pixelated gray and white background. That means that it's transparent in the back. So now I'm going to view that image. I'm going to right click and copy image address. I'm going to go back to my slide master, and I'm going to take out this image, and we're going to insert that CP and company image. So here I go, click image. I'm going to go to by URL, and I'm going to right click and paste. So there is my logo. It's really large right now, so I've got to resize it back down to an appropriate size. As you can see, I flipped the image when I was resizing it. So if that happens, if you oversize it, sometimes it'll flip it. You can either do an undo and start over, or you can go to right click, rotate, do flip horizontally, and now it's back to normal. So now I have a little logo that appears in all of my slides that doesn't have that ugly white box in the back, and it looks a little bit more professional, which is nice. So we're going to get out of the slide master because we don't want to change anything there. And now we've got our branding up in the corner. You can move that around to different places. I'm going to leave it there because I think that's the only place where there's no text or pictures. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little video. Now, in order to add another slide, I've got some options. I can do a brand new slide, which just gives me a blank one. I could duplicate a slide, which gives me the layout plus the text from the previous slide. And I can also insert a new slide pretty much anywhere I want. So if I needed a new third slide, I could go here, and it's going to give me a new slide and a layout. Now notice that it copies the layout from the previous slide. So if I just wanted a blank slide, I would have to go in here, apply layout, blank. So I'm going to actually delete this one because this is not where I want my video. And I'm going to delete that second one. Come back here. Let's make the layout blank. And now I've got an empty slide to work with. So I want to put in a video about, I guess, compliance. So we'll see what we come up with here. You're going to insert a video, and Google limits you to using either YouTube search or a YouTube video that you already have the link for. You cannot bring in other videos from outside of YouTube. So if you want to, you actually have to upload them to your YouTube channel and then create a link from there. So let's see what we can do with searching for compliance department. So here we could pretend that we work at Recycling Lives. We don't, but it'll work for this presentation. And we're going to put it, and as you can see, right there on your screen, it's embedded a YouTube video. So you can kind of click it and drag it around to reposition it. You could create a new text box to write a little caption below it. You could change the color of the font to match the rest of the presentation. Or, whoops, that's not the right color. I think it's this one. You could resize the font. You can come back here to check to see what this font is. You can see it changes to Oswald, so we might want to change this one to Oswald. There it is. It's in the More Fonts. And now it's part of our font menu. And then you could center this so it looks a little bit better on the page. There you go. You've inserted a video and a text box to create a caption. Now, let's say that maybe your boss decides that we don't have time to go through this whole presentation. He just wants to see the video you made. So you want to still save your other slides just in case he wants to use them later. But you also want to be able to go from your title page straight to your video page without clicking through all of these other slides. So we're going to create a link right here that actually goes to this slide. We're going to highlight the word compliance. We're going to click on this link. And now, just like in Google Sheets, it gives you kind of some options to go to, like the number one choices for the word compliance. But it also gives you now a drop-down menu for slides in this presentation. So you have slide-to-slide linking. So we want to go to slide 5, and we're going to click apply. Now this changes the look of this. So what it does is, because it's a link, it gives it kind of a link look by changing the color and giving it an underline. You can get rid of that. You can ununderline. You can change the color back to that light gray. And now everything looks normal, but when you give that presentation, you're going to be able to click from here to here, and you can see it's still a link because when you highlight it, it goes to slide 5. I'll show you how that looks in the presentation when we're all done. The next thing that we want to add is a couple of slide transitions. Slide transitions are usually best if you're watching this sort of in a movie form or with a voiceover. Use them sparingly and don't use crazy transitions. I'll show you why when we get there, how unprofessional a weird transition looks. I'm going to click on transition in this toolbar right here. And you can see my sidebar switched over to this screen. Right now it says there's no transition. So we want to actually add a transition fade. Fade is where it goes from one slide and it kind of fades and does like a little thing and it goes into the next slide. And we're going to slow this down from slow to medium. Now you can either leave this between these two slides only, or you can apply to all slides. So I'm going to click apply to all slides just so you can see. But now I'm also going to add kind of a crazy slide or crazy transition so you can see why maybe doing some sort of crazy transition isn't appropriate in the business setting. And now we can play all of these to see how this all looks together. Let's see what we got. So there's your first fade. Oops, let's try it one more time. Click play. There's our fade, but see, there was that cube transition that came in. So it's kind of jarring to see it go. Let's take out the cube transition. So to do that, we're going to click up here where it says slide cube. We're actually going to take it back to fade. We're going to slow it way back down. We're going to apply that to all slides again. And now we're good. The last thing that we want to do before I show you this from start to finish and see all the little features is maybe we want to add an animation. An animation takes an individual content item and also it's kind of like a transition for items. So you can see here that there's an add animation button. if you want to animate a specific content item, let's do this. You're going to highlight it and then click Add Animation. So right now, you've got some choices. It says here's your list of possible animations. So you've got appear, disappear, fade in, fade out, fly in, which means it's going to kind of shoot across the screen either from left, right, or bottom, zoom in, zoom out, or spin. I would avoid at all costs the spin and the flies. Using zoom in and zoom out is a great way to take small text and enlarge it for attention, but we're going to use a fade in and a fade and leave it there. So what's going to happen is we can either set it to fade in when I click on it while I'm talking, or if you're running it kind of like a movie or an automated slideshow, you can click after previous, and so after we get to this slide, it's just going to be on like its own little timer and move in on its own. So let's slow this down a little bit to 2.5 seconds, and we're going to keep that animation. So we can see it on the screen. So your screen changes, your new screen pops up, and this shows in. I feel like that was a little bit fast, so let's slow that down a little bit more. And now we've got a nice little animation. So one other thing is if you need to adjust your transitions, you can always go through this list of transitions and animations, and you can change the speed of your transitions. You can make sure that they're all applied. You can change the actual transition, and they basically just auto-save and are ready to go. So now we've added in a video, we've added in a slide-to-slide link, we've added in transitions and animations. So let's run this one time and see what we get. Oops, we started on the wrong. So let's run this one time and see what we get. So we're going to go click on this little drop down, present from the beginning. So we've got our compliance. Now notice if I click anywhere other than compliance, I go to the second slide. I click through to the next one. So here is our nice little fade in with our big statistic we want to share, and then we've got our video. Last thing, if we started that over, but this time I clicked on the title because I knew my link was hidden there, goes straight to the video. So that's how slide-to-slide linking works. It's nice. So we've managed to add all of these nice little presentation features. In the past week, we've added our branding, we've added a video, and so basically we have a really well-rounded presentation. So now there's 2 ways, or 3 ways, that you can actually access your presentation. You can go to your drive on any computer and find it. You could share it to somebody's email, or share it to your department, or you can publish it to the web. When you publish, it gives you some options. You've got your link like we've been using, or an embed code if you want to put it into another website. And then here it tells you, hey, you're not going to be around to, click your screen every time every person on the internet wants to look at this. So how long do you want people to look at your slides before it moves on? I think they can look at it for about 10 seconds before it needs to move on. And then I also want my slideshow to play as soon as the player loads. So I'm going to click publish. Yes, I'm sure. That gives me my link that I can go to. And there's my slideshow. You'll see that it gives you the little toolbars down here. You can make it full screen. You can use a laser pointer, and present with it. But it's already running on the internet. So in case you are presenting and you don't have time to go in and get into your drive, or maybe there's some credential issues where that you're not allowed to get into that stuff, this is already ready for you on the internet. You don't have to log into anything, you just have to know your link. So that's pretty fantastic. So if you have any questions about your week 7 assignment, or you need more information, please refer to your G Suite documentation, talk to your instructor or your student advisor, and have a great week.